Serious stuff. The president wants the Senate to get rid of the filibuster and start getting health care and tax cuts done. Here's the tweet from the president. The U.S. Senate should switch to 51 votes immediately and get health care and tax cuts approved fast and easy. Dems would do it, no doubt. Joining us is the author of the book, Written Out of History, The Forgotten Founders Who Fought Big Government. Now, there's a title I could learn to love very easily. He is a Republican senator from Utah, Senator Mike Lee. Senator, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now, you say that you get rid of the filibuster, and that does some damage to the Constitution or threatens the Constitution. Make your case, please.
No, that's not how I would put it at all.
Okay.
It's up to the Senate to determine its own rules.
Yep.
The Senate can change those rules when it wants to. My point is that the filibuster rule has protected the Constitution itself. It has protected conservative priorities in the past by limiting the rate at which government can expand, at which government can grow. We would have had single-payer health care in this country a long time ago, but for the filibuster rule. What's more here, we can pass Obamacare repeal, we can pass tax reform without the filibuster. We can get there with 51 votes because of the Senate reconciliation rules.
Yes, but you haven't gotten there yet. And if there's any change made to the Obamacare repeal and replacement bill or the tax reform, like you make it permanent, for example, then you do need 60 votes, and you're not going to get 60 votes in the Senate.
Well, it's certainly not true with respect to any change from the House bill. There are a lot of changes we can make. In fact, the House bill had some errors in it that would have to be changed before we could even bring it up under reconciliation. But my point is there's a way to get there.
But the big changes you could not make without needing 60 votes.
On tax reform, there are some changes that might have a lifespan limit to them as a result of using reconciliation. But with respect to Obamacare, we can do almost anything that Republicans have talked about doing under the reconciliation rules with 51 votes.
Okay. Talk to me about President Trump, who is going to announce in the next couple of days, very soon we understand, what he's going to do with the Paris Accord, the climate accord. Sources say we're out. What do you say?
That's good. That's good for America.
You like this?
America ought to determine its own rules. America ought to regulate itself and not have itself grafted into some international agreement. An international agreement which, by the way, is not going to be abided by anyone other than us, or so we would have to assume.
Do you think that the planet is warming dangerously, and is that the result of human activity?
Look, there are mixed theories out there about whether the planet's warming. There are mixed theories about whether human activity is to blame. Right. I'm somewhat agnostic as to both. My point is, even if it is, and even if that is the cause, I have yet to see any solution to this that would result in anything other than economic devastation, complete devastation of America's middle class, without showing any real sign of changing the matter at hand. So I think the best thing we can do is foster and promote a free market economy, one that can develop innovation. That's how we have brought about massive emission reductions in the past, through technology and through the free market system.
You stand out for conservatism, for free markets and individual liberty. You're a standout within the Republican Party. And some say you are splitting and dividing the Republican Party because you are recalcitrant. You won't budge. You won't, will you?
If that makes me a standout, then we've got a problem with the Republican Party. Now, I think the Republican Party stands for free markets. I think the Republican Party stands for federalism, the idea that people ought to be able to govern at the state and local level. If that makes me a standout, we've got much bigger problems.
The book, I love the title, Written Out of History, The Founding Fathers. New book.
New book, and I tell the stories of 8 forgotten founders, people who have been neglected or written out of history, as I say, because their stories, their backgrounds don't fit the modern narrative. They don't fit the modern progressive message that we should always trust government, that big government programs are a good thing.
But they, in their day, these guys were railing against government, wanted to keep it at arm's length.
Yes, they understood what we understand today, which is a distant, national, all-powerful government can do a lot of harm to people, especially to the middle class in any society that is suppressed whenever government misbehaves.
You know, one of the things which is really dismaying to me as a newly minted American citizen, it's the way America is trending to look more and more like Europe. And if you can stop it, I'm all for you. Last word.
Well, as part of our effort to make America great again rather than to make America Great Britain again, we've got to return to our roots.
You're killing me, Senator. You're killing me. Senator Mike Lee, Republican, Utah. Thanks for joining us, sir.